freshman? Really? Wow.
From Ben Light Gymnasium on the campus of Ithaca College, it's Bombers women's basketball on Bomber Sports as the Union College Garnet Chargers visit the South Hill in the 2024 opener. I'm Eli Fishman alongside Cam Manna bringing you the action. The Bombers enter today 7-2 with 3 straight victories, but one of those losses looms large on their season. That came in the Liberty League opener to Vassar. And Cam, today marks Ithaca's 3rd conference game. From here on out, it's that race to the conference tournament in late February. Ithaca, they're looking to get back to business. Some very high expectations for this squad.
And you play on December 9th against New Paltz, and then you take that month of December off, and you come back in January. It's the same season, but as you said, it's almost a new season because now you're in the conference play. Now you play 16 straight games. You're in the Liberty League. Every game now has more weight on them. So that game you mentioned, you go against that Vassar game in the Liberty League opener. That's a tough loss for this group, but that's kind of the preseason of this Liberty League slate. You're going to see Vassar again. You're going to see Union twice. The importance of this game is getting on a high note entering the start of January.
From here on out, it's 16 conference games and the race to that conference tournament. Ithaca 7-2 with 3 straight wins entering today. On the right side of the court is the Union Garnet Chargers at 3-7 overall, 2-1 in Liberty League play with 3 straight losses after a pretty solid start to the season against some out-of-conference opponents. The 3 Liberty League opponents they faced so far is William Smith and Bard, who they beat, as well as RIT, who they lost to in a close one. But this is a Union team that has played Ithaca close the last couple of years. Ithaca with 11 straight wins in the series, but a Union team, they're feisty.
And don't look at 3-7 too much, on the downside for Union. They started out 3-9 last year in the month of January, finished off 13-13, got into the Liberty League tournament. Katie Marcel, their head coach in her 3rd season, back-to-back conference tournament appearances. A team has not done that in Union history since 2016, so they're a program. They play hard, they play fast, and a team that has got off to slow starts and has been able to bounce back.
Annabella Iorio going up for the tip with Jenna Foreman on the Garnet Chargers side of the court. It's Kennedy Clark, Grace Enselek, Grace Arcolis, Jenna Foreman, and Maddie Mandalingi on the Ithaca side as Ithaca wins the tip, and Junie Dixon will send it in. It is June Dixon, Hannah Polche, Cameron Coffey, Anya Watkins, and Annabella Iorio. Bombers' first game in almost a month with the holiday break. As Polche now with it, going around the perimeter to Iorio, to the corner in Coffey. Coffey, the grad student, coming back all the way back to Iorio in the left wing. Polche, around the perimeter they go, looking for the start early on in possession number 1. Polche straight away, drives towards the left side from the elbow, the jumper, good. Bombers strike first.
And she's so good, Polche. It brings to the table on this team. You understand Junie Dixon, one of the point guards, but Polche can command so well that kind of counteract partner with Dixon.
On the Union side, down low from the left, it's Enselek. Enselek to the top of the key. Maddie Mandalingi playing point guard a lot of the time, one of the stars of this team, calling out plays. She goes to the corner, down low. Arcolio with less than 10 on the shot clock and the traveling violation. Union can't capitalize on their first possession.
And this Bombers defense, Eli, swarming, and you'll see it, and not always the most sizable team, but their agility and athleticism to corral on the perimeter, that's where their defense starts.
For the Union side, Jelena Perovic is their leading scorer with 11.6 points per game, but keep an eye on Jenna Foreman at 6'3", who's done it in a whole lot of statistical categories this season, especially with the size. Dixon down the baseline, stutter steps towards the corner, less than 10 on the shot clock. Coffey, 3 from just outside of the arc. That's no good. Off the right iron, goes out of bounds in front of the Garnet Chargers bench. From there, they'll send it in. Cross midcourt now, Kennedy Clark directing traffic. Drives towards the right side, passes it to the right wing in Mandalingi. Back to Clark. Stutter steps all the way back to the top of the key. Basically from this stripe, it's batted down off the hands of Anya Watkins. Watkins starting in her 2nd career game, 2nd straight game, working her way into the starting lineup. Back-to-back block shots from either side as Dixon's is knocked right back at the lap of Arcolio. Anya Watkins with a nice play on defense, earning herself a spot in the starting lineup. Had a pass down low. Foreman underneath the basket. Can't get the first one to go. They kick it out from the wing. Driving towards the baseline, all the way back towards the Bomber logo at midcourt. Now to Clark. 10 on the shot clock. Clark slowing it down, taking her time. from the right side. Low post, another pass down low. Foreman is knocked out of bounds, but it's going to stay Union ball as Annabelle Iorio dove for it, tried to keep it in bounds to the right side underneath the basket. Was not successful off the fingertips, but there's only 2 seconds on the shot clock, so it's going to have to be a quick catch and release to get the Garnet Chargers on the board. It's Foreman with one. Didn't realize the shot clock was about to go off, saying that one's on me, and Ithaca's going to take over.
And multiple times Union on that offensive possession, they're trying to get Foreman to get going on the block. As Clark in the perimeter, bounce pass down low Foreman, but Iorio is doing such a good job closing out on that matchup on the block.
All right, the back to Dixon at the top of the key. Down low, Iorio goes up with the body, and a charging foul on Annabelle Iorio, knocking Grace Enselek down to the ground on her back. Almost 2 points, but blown off there. First foul on Iorio.
And a great job there from Grace Enselek. And, for Iorio there, anytime you lower the shoulder a little bit too much and you could draw a foul like that, the refs 9 out of 10 times are going to call it a charge.
Clark, top of the post. Now drives towards the baseline. Some deception. Errant pass. Iorio with the takeaway. In transition, Ithaca. Coffee down low. Gets the feed. The right hook. Foul. So Coffee will go to the line here. Mentioning Coffee, the sole grad student who spent her first 4 years on campus. June Dixon, the Division I transfer. But Coffee, a big piece of this team over the last couple of seasons in the playoff run of the NCAA tournament over the last couple of years. Her last ride. A few seniors on this roster as well, whose future's obviously uncertain, but Coffee, one of those looking to make a statement in her final year. Can't get it done from the stripe. Goes 0 for 2. Garnet Chargers on the rebound. The press. Trying to get it across midcourt. This strong Ithaca defense that we've seen all season long. Clark finally can. From the right side. Low post. Goes up. And one for Kennedy Clark.
Great drive there from Clark, and you saw the Bombers on one end trying to go coast to coast and helped out for Coffee, but on that missed free throw, and then Clark just got over on a great press and went right to the right side, so the double team, almost a mismatch, but got it to go.
Looking to give the Garnet Chargers the lead with the three-point play, and Kennedy Clark does indeed. 6:45 left to go here from Ben Light. How about a takeaway on the Garnet Chargers side? That's Enselek on the second chance points. They can't get anything out of that one. A little bit of a press. Ponche keeps it in bounds on the near side. Pass all the way down low. Iorio, can she keep it in bounds? Yes, she can to Dixon. Dixon just underneath the basket. Floater in, and Bombers back on top thanks to June Dixon. Beautiful takeaway on the other side of the ball, though, by Enselek. Tried to go for the layup, was one-on-one underneath the basket. They couldn't get anything out of that one. This Union very strong on the defensive side, especially in transition. Been evident so far. Mandalingi back to the top of the key. Arcolio. Shot clock winding down, looking for somewhere to go. Down low, it's Foreman with the hook, and good. She had Watkins and Ponche right on her. Used the size at 6'3" to throw up the right hook. Union on top.
And the one time there where Iorio wasn't on Foreman, that's the mismatch they won. Even though Onion Watkins is a great defender, Iorio is the problem that Union's going to see.
That's the matchup to watch in this one. Already has been. Watkins down low. Coffee, kick out. 3 for Cameron. Coffee, splash. She does it so well from 3. Has throughout the entirety of her career. Almost 40% from beyond the arc. And a big one there to put the Bombers up 7-5.
And in all the big games in the conference, we saw against Vassar in that one conference loss, 21 points, hit 3 3-pointers. That's what she does from behind the arc.
Foreman in the corner, down low to the left side, low block. Back to the top of the key, and Clark. Straight away, stutter steps, fires from 3, front iron, then off the back and into the hands of Anya Watkins. Bombers right to left. Polche from the right side goes back towards the top, and Coffee drives from the left side, throws up the finger roll. Cameron Coffee with a couple nice plays early. 5 points of the Bombers' 9.
So many perimeter scoring options as well. Coffee, Dixon, and Polche can all do it on the drive like that.
Clark back to the top of the key. Arcolio down low. Watkins and Coffee with the block. She was able to get the shot off, but Watkins and Coffee throwing their hands up right in the face. Here's Dixon from the corner, 3 long, right into the hands of Foreman. But this Bombers defense been strong so far. To the corner, just inside the perimeter, left iron for Mandalingi. Ithaca gets the rebound. Significantly out-rebounding Union so far in this one as Coffee down low goes for the finger roll from the left side. It's no good, and Clark will take it. Stutter steps from the top of the key. Right at the foul stripe, goes back to Arcolio, directing traffic. Back to Clark in the corner. Kennedy Clark drives. Here's Foreman looking to use the body, looks for the foul. Watkins knocks it out of bounds. We're going to see a whole bunch of subs for either side. It's going to be Drevna, Payne, and McPeak coming in for Ithaca. A few faces that haven't gotten a huge amount of playing time off the bench are going to come in here. Haven't seen Zoraida Iqbal-Seta, who's primarily been either a starter, didn't play in her last game, or one of the first off the bench for Ithaca. Drevna's had a really strong season coming off of the bench for the freshman, as well as Grayson Dubin. Haven't seen Dubin checking in as well as Union is going to take a timeout.
And, really what we've seen so far, Eli, before those substitutions, both offenses trying to run in transition on those missed shots, trying to get down the court quickly, which no offense has mustered up any momentum so far. So now you wonder, too, something that Dan Raymond's talked about with their second rotation, those next 3 players that came into the game. Jill Payne, since that Bard Vassar weekend, has gotten more minutes. How do those 3 players complement on the court, and how do they play? Because we saw in those first 9 points the Bombers have had what Cameron Coffey complements with Polche and Dixon on the court. How do these 3 players also complement now with this rotation, as Dixon really being that only true scorer that's on the court right now?
Interesting to see how it plays out. We didn't even talk about it, but this is a Union team. In all 10 games, they've thrown out a different rotation. 11 different girls have started so far this season. Among those checking in, it's Emma Riley. Throws up a prayer as the shot clock winds down. That's no good. The substitutions is Riley in, Schultz, Poplik, and Perovic all in for Union. So 4 different substitutions. Yorio tries to go for the layup down low, throws another up on the second chance opportunity, and Yorio staying in the game. We talked about it. She's the matchup to watch with Foreman, wins that battle.
And Foreman right now not in the game, so that's a big thing to look out for. How can Yorio take advantage?
Riley checking in here. Poplik as well. She gets herself some points for the beauty of the layup. And a 4-point game, 11-7, just under 3 minutes here in the first. Yorio again down low from the right side. Low block, drives, baseline underneath the basket, tries to get the pass off to Payne, and it's batted right back down into the hands of Arcolio. Wide open lane to the basket from the left side. A beauty there on the layup. And just like that, a 2-point game yet again. Dixon, top of the key, Payne. Drevna around the perimeter. Here's McPeak in the corner. Back to Payne. Only playing so far this season in 6 games. Coming off a career 8-point performance against New Paltz. There's June Dixon. Fires from 3 and connects. 5-point game again. The grad transfer from Division I Cal Poly doing it again.
Very few players at this level can create their own shot like Junie Dixon can, as there's a foul there on McPeak. And what Junie Dixon can do for an offense at times, she can have the ball in her hand in ISO and take a contested 3. Changes the offense so much for what the Bombers want to do.
We'll see Watkins and Polche come back in as Dixon and Yorio out for the first time. Coach Raymond has talked about it. As you said, a lot of fresh rotations, a lot of different combinations of names and numbers on the floor that Ithaca is going to throw out over the course of these next few games. And another foul there coming on the Ithaca side on Sophia Poplik, the junior.
And one thing, too, Eli, back to your point and what Coach Raymond talked about, out of Polche, Dixon, and Coffey, one of the 3 will always be on the court. Now Polche is that true anchor right now.
Around the perimeter, Polche in coverage. Poplick, top of the key to Riley, and a travel. Riley at the top of the key as the shot clock was winding down regardless. And it'll be Ithaca looking to get it going on offense, coming off the 3 ball from Dixon in the corner. Dixon and Coffey both already with 5 points. Neither of them's on the floor. Here's Polche from the free throw line. Almost like taking a free throw there with the jumper. Falls in. It's a 7-point lead for the Bombers now. On the other side of the court, it's Riley. Down low, still no Foreman in this game. That ball's batted out of the hands of Perovic, and the takeaway. Left open, Watkins underneath the basket. Almost overran the basket. Drevna from 3 off the left side of the glass. And the off-ball foul.
Looks like a foul there on Union's side. It'll be against Schultz. And right now for the Bombers, too, you get a 16-9 lead. What they do so well and the ability to do so well in a lot of these victories they've had, when they get in front early, they've been able to control that and trust their defense and what it can do and be so powerful.
On the inbound around the perimeter, Drevna, who had a huge game in the opener of the season, she was a little bit quiet, and then a huge game against New Paltz. Is Ithaca is going to keep it here. Out of bounds underneath the basket, but Drevna with no ball set at the moment is going to play a big piece of this team for the freshman. Sole freshman on the court at the moment. Payne from 3 in the corner, long. Can they keep it? Whose possession is it going to be? Looks like it'll stay Bomber ball. Off the hands of a couple Garnet Chargers following the 3 attempt from Payne. And it'll be Polche inbounded with 1 on the shot clock. Underneath the basket, Drevna tries to throw one up. She's fouled. Going for the teardrop from the right side with 1 on the shot clock. And for the Garnet Chargers, a huge foul there that's going to send Drevna to the line.
Drevna was on the left block, went right back to the right, a little bit of a screen down low, and just threw that up with the right hand, and that foul. That's a great possession there for the Bombers.
Drevna, first free throw attempts of her collegiate career, playing in 7 games so far for Ithaca. Coming off that big win, as we talked about, against New Paltz. And Drevna able to get the points there. 18-9 now the score. Ithaca's lead double the point total for the Garnet Chargers as less than 50 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. And Kennedy Clark's just going to take her time on the right wing extended. Now calling out plays, directing traffic. Less than 10 on the shot clock already. High post. Looking for somewhere to go. Down low to the right side, Poplick. As the buzzer winds down, throwing up the shot, that was Perovic. And shot clock off here with 10 seconds, Drevna. From the right side, McPeak, Payne. Dribbles back towards the top of the key. Drevna, gonna throw up a prayer off the glass and no good. So Ithaca with an 18-9 lead. Double the point total of the Garnet Chargers on some strong defense. And 5 points for June Dixon and Cameron Coffey. We're going to take a quick break, but keep it right here. Quarter number 2 coming at you on Bomber Sports. Back for quarter number 2 from Ben Light Gymnasium. Eli Fishman and Cam Anna on Bomber Sports, and an 18-9 lead for Ithaca. Strong defense for the Bombers, firing from beyond the perimeter. That's been the story so far. Starting 5 back out onto the court for Ithaca. A little bit of a similar format on the Union side as Foreman returns to the game. She's going to get the pass down low. Low block from the left side. One-on-one with Yorio. This time, Foreman wins the battle. Layup for Foreman. We talked about it. Yorio and Foreman, two biggest players on the court. That's the battle to watch. Two strong shooters, but also physical players using their size to their advantage. As the off-ball foul on Union is going to have Coffey send it in from behind the basket. She goes to Dixon in the right corner. Back to Polche. Now to Coffey. Yorio looking to set up the screen. All the way down low. Coffey against 2 Garnet Chargers. Gets that one to go on the layup. Polche having herself a strong game.
There was one dribble as well in that whole entire possession. What the Bombers do so well, quick passes, quick cuts, and Union just not being able to find Coffey, who got behind the defense.
Coffey with 7 points now. It was Polche that got the layup, and she's been the anchor of this offense these last couple of games. Anchor the defense as well with a perfectly timed takeaway on the pass. To Yorio on the low block. Throws up the prayer with the right hook, and that one will fall. Another big play for Annabella Yorio. Clark can't get that one to fall. Yorio's going to get the rebound on the other side. Ithaca double the lead, 22-11. Here's Polche from 3. From the corner, she connects. Polche, she's got 7 points on the day as well. And a strong start to quarter number 2 for the Bombers, who are on an 11-2 run. Union hasn't scored so far in the second. That streak's going to continue off the rebound. Polche again. She's going to take it herself all the way, coast to coast. Can't get the first layup to go. The second is going to be no good on the second chance. Points fall right into the hands of the Garnet Chargers. And from there, Katie Marcella, the third-year head coach, is going to take another timeout to bring her team to the bench and talk it over after a strong run for the Bombers. On the Union side, they're scoreless in the last minute and 49 seconds. A 7-0 run for Ithaca. And that's the kind of fire we've seen all season long and in some big-time games.
And that's what they did so well to start this second quarter. It's get a quick miss on the defensive side. They push the half court so well, and once they do that, it's that quick outlet pass to the corner. We saw that three-pointer from Polche. And what they're able to do when they have to settle down the offense on the perimeter. Quick 3 passes, top of the key, down low Coffey on that cut and score. The Bombers have been able to score at all different kinds of levels, fast pace, and they've slowed the pace down. We saw earlier on in the season, Eli, how the Bombers were so much better at scoring on that fast-paced offense. Now they're showing they can calm things down on the offensive side and score with ease. Right now with Union, everything is working, and it has started on the defensive side, creating momentum to offense. And they've shot the ball well from 3 right now. You look at Union, they've only shot 2 3-pointers. The Bombers have been spraying from behind the arc.
Ithaca 50% from the floor, 3 for 7, over 40% from beyond the perimeter. On the Union side, 31.3 from the floor, 0 for 3 from beyond the perimeter. But defense has been the specialty with 3 steals, couple of blocks on the Bombers' side. Strong on defense. That time they're going to get a possession handed to them on an errant pass that flies into the Bomber bench. From there, Polche and Dixon take it. Top of the key and around the perimeter they go, trying to put the ball in the hands of Coffey. How about Dixon? That one's long on another 3-point try. Talked about it earlier and putting the big-time scorers in the game in that combination of Dixon and Coffey. Both on the floor, and 2 that have fired over the last couple of possessions. Clark and Polche. Clark from the right wing extended to the top of the key. Arciolo. From the left side, on the low block, looking for somewhere to go. To the top of the key, Enselek. And the travel on Enselek is going to give the ball back into the hands of Ithaca. That scoreless streak continues over 2 minutes and 15 seconds now for Union.
And on the bench right now, you can see how well and much Dan Raymond is pleased by how the Bombers are playing right now. They're playing well on all levels, and you're not often seeing how pleased Dan Raymond can be. I haven't seen one thing he's been upset about so far in this one.
Yorio, right side, throwing up the hook again, looking for the foul. She's going to get it. Shot didn't go in, but Yorio is going to head to the line here, adding to what's already been a big game so far for Yorio. 4 rebounds, 4 points, couple of steals for Yorio in the stat sheet, as we're going to see Grayson Dubin checking in for the first time today. Big lead, 25-11 for the Bombers, and a couple of big wins on the season where we've seen that bench come out to play, and a lot of the points, sometimes more than 50% in a couple of those games, of the points have come from the bench for the Ithaca side. Dubin has been a big piece of that, 3.4 points per game, but a couple of big performances in St. John Fisher, FDU. No good on the second from the stripe, and it's going to go to Union here.
A lot of those players, too, Eli, are not just freshmen and sophomores. They're juniors and seniors that have only been getting that first playing time action this season, and the moment has not been too big so far for players like Dubin and like Jill Payne, who are those upperclassmen.
Couple of big losses from some graduates over this past season. No good for Perovic there, that have allowed some of these players to get their scoring opportunities so far this season, get their minute opportunities. How about Yorio again from the right corner, just inside the perimeter. 2 more for Yorio, and 7 points on the day from the jumper. Union's turn. Clark looking to stop this scoring, stop the lack of scoring streak. Can't get it on the first one. She's going to take it right back, using the body one-on-one with Dubin. Dubin hits the ground, and the foul. Couldn't get the shot to go either, and they're going to call it a blocking foul on Dubin.
Yeah, really tough there on Dubin. She did what she could after the turnover to not force almost an intentional foul, but that's always tough, too. We mentioned on that Yorio foul before, as a defender, you're always in a tough spot in a one-on-one like that. If the offensive player can kind of use their body to fade back and draw the foul, Dubin also going forwards, you're always going to get that call as the driver, the player on offense.
No good from the stripe for Kennedy Clark. We're going on 4 minutes without a Garnet Chargers point. And a 10-0 run for Ithaca. 28-11, 6:05 left to go. Clark over 80% from the free throw line on the season. The scoreless streak is gone, and Kennedy Clark goes 1 for 2 from the stripe. A 16-point lead for the Bombers, as Clark will come out for Emma Riley, who had a few minutes late in quarter number 1. A Union team that's played Ithaca close the last couple of seasons. Ball batted down on the pass. Casey Weirin is the one that sends it out underneath the basket, where Coffey will send it in for Ithaca. Around the perimeter, Elizabeth Maka checking into the game, another freshman for the Bombers. Riley on the rebound. Top of the key, now to the right corner. Burke also checking in for Union. Riley from just inside of the perimeter, left iron into the hands of Yorio. So a lot of fresh faces into this game. Elizabeth Maka had a big game against New Paltz last time out in the victory. Can't get the layup there, but Maka 8 points in that huge win over a New Paltz team that's been receiving votes in the national poll over the last few weeks. Even got a win over the number 3 ranked team in the nation last week in Christopher Newport. Traveling violation there on Foreman, so to go back to the Bombers. But that was a big win, and another game where you got to see the depth, as you also did not have any Iqbal Seta in that game. Had to get a lot of points off the bench. Maka, Dubin, a couple players that had a big game against New Paltz. Jillian Payne as well with 8 points. Whole lot of fresh faces who got a win over a very dominant team. Here's Dixon, low block. Maka picks it up off the ground. Down low to Dubin, and the travel on Maka there.
But back to Maka, though, even though on that travel just lost the right-hand footing. A freshman at 5'10", and we've seen in that New Paltz game, and even going back to Bard, where she was able to score those 10 points, her ability down low to spin and score and create. You see a lot of players being able to create from the perimeter. Maka's one of those few where she's almost a facilitator inside the paint. It's very special to see for a player that young.
From the top of the key. Looking for somewhere to go. That's Perovic. Strong on defense. That's Coffey. Almost knocking the ball out of the hands of Perovic. She keeps it in her possession. Gets the nice layup there from the left side. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds from Weirin. And it'll stay Ithaca ball to be sent in from the left wing by Dixon. Over the last few years, the depth of the team has been an overarching theme. And in the past, it's been the Coffees. It's been the Polches. It's been the Natalie Smiths. And this year, a whole new depth is needed. A beauty from Maka driving down the baseline on the layup. A lot of agility. Nice spin there underneath the basket. Now it's her turn on defense. One-on-one with Riley. Riley can't get it to go from the right side. Now Dixon. And to Dubin. Back to Dixon and around the perimeter. Looking to get some of the youth into the scoring here. Maka thinks about it from three. She'll drive down the baseline one-on-one with a Foreman. A little bit of a mismatch there. And a foul on Foreman there. Foreman at 6'3", the junior. Maka, the freshman, at 5'10". And Maka is going to head to the line here as Payne checks back in for the Bombers. As Coffey to the side. And here's Maka from the stripe. .8% from the floor for Maka so far this season in her 7 games played. Coming off the big game against New Paltz, and she goes 2 for 2 from the foul stripe. Adding to her point total already. Already 10 different Bombers checking into the game. Riley, left corner. Drives down the baseline, one-on-one. Payne off the glass. Second chance points. Can't get it to go. Perovic averaging 11.6 points per game on the season. She's only got 2 so far. Payne drifts back to the top of the key towards the left side. Now Watkins from the stripe almost in a trowel. Called on Payne before she could get the pass off from the high post. And we'll see Dixon coming out here as Polche back in.
And right now you can really see right now when you compare both of the offenses how the Bombers really outside of that one possession on the Anya Watkins play, their patience, that extra pass, Union, they've been so rushed and trying to throw up a lot of contested shots. They haven't been able to get anything open. That's towards the smothering defense, but no really play call on the Union side.
The stutter step, throwing up a shot with the left hand. That's Perovic. Foul's going to send it in Bomber possession. Getting some help there. So we're going to see 5 different Garnet Chargers checking out onto the court. Couple fresh faces as well.
And she's not happy, Katie Marcella, right now. When you bring out a whole nother 5 for how tough this second quarter has started, they're bringing really all the reserves right now outside of the one starting point guard in Clark.
She's taken her 5 starters behind the bench and talking to them all separately. Not happy about it there. Not sure if I've seen that before, taking the starters all the way away from the bench to talk to them about the game plan. Ithaca can't get their shot to go on the right side of the court. They're going to get an immediate takeaway. Here's Polche. Payne left open in the corner. Back to Polche and around the perimeter. Trying to add to the scoring total here. Payne straight away 3, back iron. And Watkins on the rebound. She'll get the points and head to the stripe looking to make it a 3-point play. Fouled off to the layup. And a beauty on the second chance points.
And you have to feel a certain way right now if you're a Union. You're on the road. Now you're down 34-14. And as the starters, you got all pulled to the side of the bench by your head coach. Something's not going right now. You got to take that almost in a personal sense. So when you come back on the court, play with a little bit more confidence, some swagger, some aggression right now because the Bombers just playing with house money.
Dominance from this Ithaca offense. Watkins makes it a three-point play. Isabella Middleman checking in for the first time today. Talked about it earlier, but Watkins forcing her name into the starting rotation. Another big player off the bench towards the end of the regular season last year. Was fighting for pretty much that first spot off the bench over the first few weeks of the season, and she's eventually gotten herself into this rotation, coming away with a big play there. Watkins with 5 rebounds, a couple of steals already. In transition after another miss. Scoreless for the last over 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the Union side as Polche with the jumper from the elbow. Lead extended here. 23 points. Bombers running away with it. It's just under 1:30 left to go before the half. Chakonin freshly checked in. Calling her name for the first time today in the right wing. And down low they go with the pass. As we're going to see, ready at the scores table, 5 new Garnet Chargers again. It's the starting 5 who are going to come back out onto the court here. Not the starting 5. The sole one who was the 2 that didn't start this game was Poplick and Weinstock, who will come in. But Foreman returns, as well as Mandalingi. Micah from the stripe again. Off the back iron on that one.
And you can truly see the 2 different atmospheres right now, the Bombers bench and how everything's working, and for Union, the struggles.
We're going to get across midcourt here, one-on-one. And an elbow thrown on the foul there. Maka with the foul, so it'll be sent in from the left wing by our Colio. Also worth mentioning, Ithaca students on the break. How about a fast break for Maka to the glass, easy money. Drops it in from the left side, 39-14. As I was saying, though, no students in the crowd, no fans on the Ithaca side as they're away for break, but this bench is bringing the energy. Here's Maka. Back to Payne around the corner. A wide open 3 for Polche. Off the glass, no. Maka gets the rebound, keeps it in. Rather, that's Middleman. She's going to have the ball stripped from her possession on the Union side. And a foul there on Middleman. But let's go back to Maka and that fast break. Another freshman fighting for that playing time, and she has earned it over the past few games. Spark plug of the offense over these last couple of minutes. With his sole 2 starters, Watkins and Polche, still in the game. All the way back towards the logo and midcourt, Mandalingi.
And she's 5'10", and her ability to score and make plays on defense.
Arcolio with a nice layup, 39-16. Shot clock turned off. Polche straight away, drives towards the right side, and at the elbow, shot is out of bounds underneath the basket and no good. It's going to stay Bomber possession as it was untouched.
Looks like Coach Raymond was wondering for a foul on that push against Watkins. Looked like Watkins fell down under the paint, but the Bombers will get one chance.
0.9 seconds. Try and make something happen as Watkins, she's going to be no whistle blown on the foul, no fouls. And that will conclude half number 1 from Ben Light Gymnasium. A 39-16 lead for Ithaca. And Cam, offense factory on the Bombers' side.
Their ability right now in offense to get themselves settled and make the right pass. They even turn over the ball. And I said it before, a question coming in was the Bombers have not played since December 9th. The Union played back on December 30th. So where was that rust going to be? You're on a long break at the holiday season. You are still practicing, but both coaches have talked about, Coach Fareed and then Coach Raymond for the Bombers, you can't emulate what you do here as a team. and to come back and have your first game like this after, almost a month off, it's impressive how hot the Bombers have come out. They've came out with a lot of focus in their offense. Everything's working. The shots are falling for Ithaca.
Shots falling indeed, almost 50% from the floor, and a massive 23-point lead as we head to the half on Bomber Sports. Keep it right here. Half number 2 coming up in approximately 15 minutes. Back from Ben Light Gymnasium, Eli Fishman alongside Cam Anna on Bomber Sports for half number 2 between the Union Garnet Chargers and the Ithaca Bombers. A 39-16 lead for Ithaca, running away with it late, and that lead currently 23 points. Very much thanks to the offense of Ithaca, shooting .470 from the floor, 3 for 10 from beyond the arc, and holding Union to 25.9% from the floor, forcing 12 takeaways on the Garnet Chargers offense. That is how dominant the Bombers have been, as their starting 5 are going to be on the floor to start off half number 2, and Union looking to catch some steam and catch their breath after Coach Katie Marcella not too happy at the end of half number 1.
Not happy at all the way that our starters played as well, and you can go through the whole stat sheet, important as well. The rebounding department, Bombers 24, Union 15 to begin.
Big piece of the points for the Bombers, Yorio Coffey, and Coffey perfectly timed splashes down from the corner for 3, and the 42-16 lead. Dixon with 5 points, Coffey and Yorio with 7. Coffey now with 9 after that 3. Polche with 9 as well, racking up the totals. Couple players, including Elizabeth Maka, coming in from the bench as Yorio adds to the point total. A lane to the net on the layup, and a teardrop and a beauty from Yorio extends her point total.
Get out and run. That's what the Bombers love to do. Quick miss on the Union side, outlet pass, and then move.
An Ithaca offense that plays a little bit conservatively at times. Straightaway 3 from Foreman off the glass, no good into the hands of Polche. They can play very conservatively. I mean, we talked about it earlier where there were a couple possessions. There wasn't even a single dribble. No good for Watkins there. It was just pass, quick, set it up. Their play style, though, when they need to, when they see that opportunity, it speeds up. And sometimes it falls on one player going to the net, making that drive down the lane. Yorio's been that player so far. Off the hands of Polche, and they'll call a foul there. Looks like on Polche, as it'll be Foreman heading to the stripe. Rather, that was Yorio, who was trying to go up for the block. It's called for the foul. Foreman 58.8% from the stripe, and the first is good.
Yeah, quick foul straight down low, and both Yorio and Polche thought they had their hands up, but Foreman, that was the hope early on for Union to get Foreman going down low, and once that kind of came out of the game and you start struggling, you want some more three-pointers, some rush shots, Foreman has just been taken out of this game by Yorio and Watkins down low.
Yorio from the right corner to Dixon. Stutter step from the top of the post. That's no good. And right going to go into the hands of Union. Ithaca looking to make it 4 straight wins today. Straight away 3 from Clark. That is no good. And wide right. Union with 1 point so far, almost 2 minutes in here in the second half. Polche having herself a strong game. We see speeding up that offense. Having almost a 360 turnaround jumper. Beauty from Hannah Polche on the jumper. Extends the lead 46-18. Dominance from this Ithaca offense continues, especially from Polche, who's now got 11 points on the day, 5 for 9 from the floor. Almost double-double territory. Floater there from Mandalingi is in. 26-point lead for the Bombers. That starting 5 still out on the floor. Off-ball foul on Union here. Bombers team that has scored the most points in the Liberty League so far this season. Almost 71 per game. And we were talking about the turnovers earlier, too. That as well has been a big theme of this game so far. Firing on the offensive side, but the defensive side, a whole lot of turnovers. Yorio down the baseline, goes to the hook down low. She's fouled. Yorio with a smirk as she heads to the foul stripe here.
Looked at the fouls on Foreman, her third foul. You wonder if, Foreman gets taken out here. A few substitutions. Looks like maybe just a guard switch on the Union side. But no, Foreman will come out of the game. So third foul for Foreman, and Yorio's just had her way down low. That was the story we talked about, and Yorio being able to work on the defensive side and that reverse forcing the foul.
Sinks the first one from the stripe. Talking about the turnovers, too. 12 Union offensive turnovers going back into the Bombers' favor. And a whole lot of the Bombers' points have come off of those turnovers. Ball on the ground after the rebound. Ithaca's going to keep it. Coffee, top of the key. Down low, Yorio again. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. It's going to go Union's way after a couple shifty moves from Yorio trying to get to the basket there with two guarded Chargers right in her face.
Split the defenders right on that right elbow, but just unlucky. Lost the dribble off her leg. Union takes it. We'll see if Union can muster together some offense here.
Clark down the baseline trying to use the body and get some points. Can't get the first, and it's going to go in Ithaca's favor off the rebound here, as we'll see Clark subbed out for Riley. Got herself a few minutes towards the end of the half. Riley did make them count, and she checks back in, looking to get hot. Yorio again, top of the key, stutter steps, drives right side, pulls up again, no. Coffee, back to Watkins down low. Kick out, Dixon for three, sinks it. June Dixon capitalizes yet again, and it is a 30-point lead for the Bombers.
And Riley was in her face too.
Down low, twirls in. Couple points there for Perovic, who checks back in. How about Yorio again down low? Can't get that one off the glass. And the board is reeled in by Orcolio on the other side of the court. One-on-one Polche from the post. Now back to the top of the key. Straightaway three. And select and no. Back to the Bombers. Watkins with the hesitation off the glass. And it's going to go back to Union. Pacing of this game is significantly speeded up over the last 2 minutes. Even though a lot of shots not hitting, a lot of defensive boards being reeled in, and Riley's just going to slow it down here.
Back-to-back possessions with the Bombers trying to move quick like that.
From the elbow, long off the left iron into the hands of Polche. Still a 28-point lead for Ithaca. Looking to get their second conference win with 2 games the next 4 days as well. And a beauty of a hook from Coffee. And a timeout's going to be called by Dan Raymond. He had 3 players ready to check in front of the scorers table. Lead right back to 30 for the Bombers. 5:02 left here in the third with the timeout called. And the Ithaca offense continuing to fire after the nice jumper from Coffee after a few minutes where we were scoreless pretty much for the first time today.
And right now it's super the Bombers on their offensive side. I just mentioned before when they were trying to move a little bit too quick on those full court passes, Yorio and Watkins down low. Those are the smart passes. The finishes were not there, but Union not getting back on defense. You miss a shot like that, Union's got to get back. Step number 1, clear the middle of the paint. You can't let Yorio and Watkins get behind you with their size, taking the basketball up top and laying it up. Those shots are going to fall, and if Union wants any chance of keeping this game close in any regard, their offense needs to trail back on the defensive side and be able to hold their own and clear the paint.
On Union's offensive side at the moment, 9 for 35 from the floor, so 25.7 field goal percentage. Riley to the top of the key as we see McPeak, Maka, and Payne checking in here for the Bombers. It's going to be Maka who reels in the board. Now Dixon, Maka right side, down the sideline with speed. And violation called there. Some frustration from Maka. Is this going to go back to Union?
3 straight possessions now for the Bombers, just moving a little bit too quick. They see the hole, they see the green light. Got to slow down just a little bit even with the lead right now.
And Select to the corner. Left open Poplik. Center steps all the way back towards the top of the key. Goes all the way around the perimeter as her shot is blocked by Dixon. It's going to find Riley. Another pass batted away by Dixon, making an impact on defense. She's got speed. How about a jumper and a beauty from the elbow? Judy Dixon yet again.
So smooth there from Dixon. Stop and pop on that left elbow in rhythm.
Double-digit total for Dixon already. She's now got double digits in 8 of 10 games on the season as the grad transfer from D1 Cal Poly. Another traveling violation on Maka. That's her third of the game. She is not happy about it. As Middleman and Drevna checking in here for Dixon and Coffey. Couple substitutions on the Union side as well. Casey Weirin in for the second time today as Arcolio to the bench. Another opportunity for Ithaca on the offensive side. Taken away, that time by the travel. Setting up the screen, Conan. Back towards the top of the key. How about a three for Weirin? Can't connect. Rebound goes to Union, and the foul will send it back to the Bombers. Rather, it looks like foul was on the Bombers' side, so instead it'll be Mandalingi heading to the foul stripe.
Looked like it was on Payne. Payne and Maka both having a conversation on who the foul was on down low.
That's Allie Burke, rather, from the stripe. Bombers with a 54-23 lead, 3:35 left to go in the third. Second from the stripe is good. Foul called on Payne. Ithaca looking for their 12th straight win in the series against Union. Here's McPeak throwing up the hands and the foul. As she went for the layup down low, trying to make something happen. Avery McPeak will head to the stripe.
You bring up the depth, too. Another player entering the game and right away making an impact.
Talked about it earlier this season, but McPeak did not play her senior year at Easton High School due to injury. Didn't play last season either, and finally in her sophomore year, getting some pretty solid action of the bench and has been a big player in the preseason and a couple of the Bombers scrimmages and in practice that popped her name into the conversation. She's gotten some good minutes down the stretch here. Her third game getting some minutes in conference play. Going to stay with Union here. 8 points in the Bard game, going 6 for 4 from the floor. McPeak with a couple solid performances off the bench. Pretty much 5 fresh faces. Combination I don't think we've seen on the floor. Drevna, Payne, McPeak, Middleman, and Maka. Couple freshmen, a sophomore, and 2 juniors. Beauty of a floater there from Morgan Schultz. Rather, that was Sophia Poplik, excuse me. Playing in her 4th game of the season. Getting her 2nd points of her collegiate career there. Couple reserves for Union checking as well. Foul this time on Union. Going up against Maka after a couple travel violations. Looking for some revenge on the offensive side here as it'll be Payne to send it in.
Held her foot there, that quick jab step, and Maka so quick to the rack.
Drevna right corner. Back to Payne in the corner, and around the perimeter they go. Middleman, now to McPeak. Down low, Drevna, one-on-one. Some help from the glass, and Drevna rolls it in. 2 more. Talking about the underclassmen, Drevna, another big piece of this bench. Adds her first point to the afternoon. Driving down low, throwing up the hook against McPeak. Unsuccessful, that's Morgan Schultz. McPeak in transition right to left. Payne down low. The intended target in the pass, but it's going to be swatted away and right into the hands of Union. Ithaca's going to take it right back. Exchanging punches, exchanging turnovers. Drevna comes in out of nowhere. Ithaca will retain possession here. Drevna flew in all the way from the backcourt. Looked for something off the glass. Took it. Went for the shot on the layup, but could not come away with it. Now McPeak will head to the line as the foul on Poplik.
Paynes, too, on that play. That ball was dribbling on the floor. Union tried to pick it up, and Union tried to draw a foul there, but Payne just held her ground, kept her hands in the air. It was almost a brick wall that they had to go around, and that ball just bounced off her body for the Bombers to get that next possession.
Dubin checking in for the Bombers. McPeak, good. Some more fresh faces, and talking about coming into this one, one of the big keys is going to be equalizing Jenna Foreman. She's got 6 points on the day. 6 rebounds, but also 2 of her points have come from the free throw line. She's very much been silent so far. A couple nice plays on defense as expected from the forward, but limited in her action. Is here's Foreman at the top of the key. Able to slip away the pass just inside the perimeter, firing off the back iron and to Dubin. Middleman on the near sideline. Drevna to the corner for Payne for 3. Payne drops it in. And a 62-26 lead for the Bombers. 1:20 left to go, and Ithaca running away with this game. McPeak able to keep the ball on the ground. She'll hold it for the jump ball. So going back to Union.
And Payne's three-pointer, that just great outlet pass, that driving kick. Payne does so well from the corner from 3. And the Bombers bench, Eli, you mentioned no students here, but the Bombers creating their own energy, a lot more loud atmosphere on their side of the bench, being able to create that noise and enthusiasm.
It's one of those fun aspects about Division III basketball, especially when the students away on break. Foreman can't get the first to connect. Off the iron. How about a 3 from the corner? It's no good. That's off the left iron. Getting her own rebound here is Burke. Throws up the hook and in. And this Bomber bench very much creating their own energy from the start. And you can feel the momentum early on just with the shots hitting on the Bombers side of this gymnasium. Drevna down the left side, down low. Dubin over the back of her head. And the beauty of a hook with the right hand for Grayson Dubin extends the lead. "36 points in favor of Ithaca. Foreman with a nice play there, getting herself the hook off, but this is a Union team that's been strong on the season, losing their last 3, but a very strong start. Picked to play 7th in the conference as the buzzer almost sounds. Dubin from 3, can't get that to go as it is long. 0.4 seconds on the shot clock after that one goes out of bounds. And it'll be sent in here as quarter number 3 comes to a conclusion. A 34-point lead for the Bombers, 64-30. Keep it right here on Bomber Sports. back on Bomber Sports. Eli Fishman, Cam Anna, and a 34-point lead for the Bombers, 64-30, as quarter number 4 starts it off. How about Drevna from the wing? No good from 3. Fight for the rebound underneath the basket, and it'll go to Union here. This Ithaca team, 52.2% from the floor, 6 from beyond the arc, 4 different players with double digits. A huge game for this Ithaca team. Talking about it right before we went to break is a beauty of a steal from Payne, batting down the attempted shot. Drevna. Players all over the floor. Payne keeps it in bounds in the corner. Down low, Maka, the intended target in the pass, bats it up in the air, and it's going to go to Union's side. Pretty strong Union team that went 10-15 overall last year and 8-10 in Liberty League play. There's a travel there on the Ithaca side. But picked to finish 7th in the conference this year. Pretty solid numbers for a pretty young team. And Ithaca has come out and had just a big-time offensive game. Talking about the offensive numbers, the turnover numbers as well. On the defensive side, here's Middleman, Euro stepping to the basket. Can't get it to go. Almost preventing that ball from getting across midcourt. Playing press against Weinstock. There's a foul on the Ithaca side there. And that'll send Davida Honig to the line. Looking for her first career points, the freshman from Stowe, Massachusetts. Playing in 5 games so far this season. Only a couple minutes between them. There's her first college points. Couple of fresh faces into the game for Union as well.
This team for Union as well, we talked about it a little bit during the pregame, being 3-9 last time, really around this time of the season, a few more weeks into January. They finished 13-13, obviously an older team, more experienced, talking about how young this group is right now, but they found a way the last 2 seasons to have a tough early-on stretch into the month of January, and they've turned it around. They've made the Liberty League tournament back-to-back seasons as the 4 seed.
Marcella making the Liberty League tournament in her first and second seasons as a coach. First round exits in both of those. You mentioned the 3-9 record last year. Back-to-back years in 2021 and 2021-22 season, over the first 10 games, over the first 12 games, they were 3-9, and they were able to turn it around and go 13-13. That was her first season in Marcella at the helm. 2 strong seasons in her first 2 seasons. Payne can't get the 3 to connect off the iron, and it'll be taken by Clark, who checks back into the game. From the stripe, 13 feet out. How about a kick out and a 3? That's off the back iron. Maka gets the rebound. Ithaca slowing it down in Drevna to Dubin. Back to Drevna, the attempted pass. And it's going to go right into the hands of Foreman. 32-point lead for the Bombers. Looking to get themselves a big win. Off the glass on a 3 from Poplik. Drevna able to keep it in her possession. Dubin looking like a wide receiver to keep it in bounds. She does, but the pass will go to Union. Couple departures on the Union side that were key. Olivia Pakla, Megan Lee to their starters, as we're going to see 4 different Garnet Chargers checking in. Grace McNamara in for the first time today on the Ithaca side, and a timeout called by the Union side with those substitutions looming. 4 graduates, including 3 starters for Union last season. So some players had to step up. It's been the sophomore Perovic so far on the season, the junior Foreman, the senior Kennedy Clark, all a couple names that have thrown their hat into the mix. And Ithaca has equalized them. Foreman, the points leader for Union with 10. Poplik and Arcolio with 6 as well. And a Union team that came to play a little bit similar to Ithaca, losing a lot of big pieces from their team last year. And it was pretty much those 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th players stepping up who were good enough as underclassmen to get some pretty solid minutes. That's looking like the trajectory for both sides. Looking in the future for Ithaca as well. You're obviously going to graduate to senior Cameron Coffey. You're only 2 seniors, and Dixon as well, a grad transfer, but your only 2 true seniors are Dubin and Polche. And these underclassmen have come to play in the opportunities they've gotten. And a few blowout wins for Ithaca. Here's McNamara. She had a big game in the blowout win over Bard. How about Maka? No good off the iron on the jumper there from just underneath the basket. And a 3 on the Union side. It connects. Arcolio cashes in from beyond the perimeter for 3. Ithaca's played some close games against Trinity, Cortland, the buzzer beater, Vassar as well down the stretch. New Paltz, a game they won in the last 3 seconds, but also have shown their power to blow teams out. As Dubin from the left side throws up the hook. Can't get that one to go, and Riley will take it out. Floater from the right side and the elbow, no good. Second chance points. Good there from Perovic, and the timeout called.
Hey, a blowout right now, but Union the last 3 minutes has been playing very hard. You know, we've seen, and you've been able to see Katie Marcel, the head coach for Union in her 3rd season, her anger, frustration on the sideline, trying to keep this team together. They've played well the last few minutes, and the big thing Dan Raymond's telling his team right now, hey, I understand the scoreboard. I understand that this game is 5:48 away from being over, but we can't just turn over and play sloppy basketball to finish this one off. We have to finish off this game the best we can because, you know, right now, Eli, these last 3 minutes is not a representation of the way the Bombers have played for the majority of this game. Turnovers, sloppy passes, not getting back on defense.
Raymond is fired up in the Bombers huddle, by the way, right now. Talking to his 5 on the floor. We saw something very similar to this in the 4th quarter of the Bard game, which was another huge blowout victory, 73-52. And it was probably the 4th quarter where in the first couple of minutes, Raymond called 2-3 timeouts to bring his team, tear into him a little bit. Say there was no lead too big, and there was no opportunity where you should be on the floor and not balling out to the best of your ability. Similar message, it appears, in the huddle right there. Trying to capitalize on their opportunities. For a lot of the players on the floor, they've seen limited minutes so far on the season. McNamara playing in her 3rd game. Another turnover goes into Union's direction. And as you always talk about late in these blowout games, good opportunity for these underclassmen to potentially get themselves some minutes down the stretch. Travel on Drevna there as it'll go back to Union. 5:11 left. And I'm sure that's a big message from Raymond in the huddle. Timeout called by Union here.
And the big thing, too, right now, it's almost that word you could say the Bombers playing a little bit lethargic at the moment. Those, you know, quick jab steps that are turning into travels. Those passes down low where you're seeing the cut. You're giving the pass a little bit too early, a little bit too late. And the players on the court right now, you look at Drevna, an underclassman. McNamara, an underclassman. Maka, underclassman. Middleman, limited opportunities as a junior. And then the reason Raymond keeps Dubin on the court is you want a senior, you want a leader that can bring this group together. This is a challenge in itself. You're up by this much at the moment, but as you mentioned, Eli, any opportunity on the floor is an opportunity, and it's an opportunity right now for the underclassmen and for Dubin to lead this rotation, these 5 right now.
Good opportunity for Dubin to solidify herself with some more playing time right now. Right now, she's pretty much that, at least she has been, wasn't today, that 6th woman off the bench with no Iqbal Seda, as no Anya Watkins can't be your 6th, can't be your 7th, because she's now in the starting rotation, picked in there. And Yorio, who was great off the bench last year, in the starting 5 as well for Ithaca. Dubin playing hard for some minutes down the stretch, some starts potentially in Liberty League play as it rolls on. And at the beginning of the season, in our preseason meeting with Dan Raymond, the one thing he told him is I think he rattled off the name of every single freshman. He said, these players are going to play in Liberty League play in some capacity and make some contributions down the stretch because of how good our freshman class is, how good our depth is, and obviously, we've seen over the last couple of years, you play early in the season, you'll solidify yourself in the spot. You're going to see action when it matters most. Good stand from the foul stripe there for Perovic. Off the foul, just under 5 minutes left to go. Top of the key, Drevna looking to set something up. Floater, 9 feet out, no good. Rattles off the iron. Riley on the near sideline, one-on-one McNamara. To the wing, now driving towards the right side. Throws something up. Can't connect, it's long. And Middleman now taking it. Middleman, another junior, fighting for playing time. Playing in only 2 games this season, coming against Bard and FDU. Played in 15 games last year. Another player last year proved herself at the beginning of the season in some out-of-conference games. When the in-conference games came around in the Liberty League slate, one of the later reserves off the bench. Arcolio behind the back dribble, looking for some flair, looking for some points here. That's Perovic. The leading scorer now with 6 points on this team. We talked about it earlier. She came into this game with 11.6 points per game on the season. Leading scorer, leading rebounder of this team. She's been held pretty silent. Foreman with 10 points as well. But she's also been such a big piece over the last few games. A couple of 10 rebound games in her last couple for Foreman as well. She's got 7. Another fresh face checking it for the Bombers. That's Alya Dervisevic, playing in her 3rd career game. As it's Drevna who comes out.
And right now you look at it too, Eli. You know, this Bombers team, they were up by 37. What's happened these last 4 and 5 minutes is, you know, obviously a lot of the reserves, but not being able to score at will.
Majka off the iron. And foul. He's going to put it in Union's direction.
A lot of these players, too, and you mentioned a lot of the players that are going to graduate for the Bombers and just the start of January, not looking ahead too much, but in a game like this, you think 3 of these different players will be starters next year for the Bombers.
Well, you talk about it. You got 4 of your starters potentially departing, either seniors or grad students. Dubin, the other senior fighting for playing time. Yorio, the other junior in the starting rotation, as well as Watkins, who started this game. Iqbal said, obviously, huge piece of this team over the last couple of seasons. She's a sophomore who hasn't been on the court for the Bombers over their last 2 games. Long from Middleman. You also can't overlook how big of a piece June Dixon is to this team. Coming into this season, at the end of last season, before you know about who's coming back for their grad year, who's going to be back, if you got any transfers, before Dixon was coming, you would have a lot of questions about who's going to really hold it down, as Coffey barely started half of the games for the team last year, put up 8 points per game, but you're really looking for someone to be your, as we've seen over the last couple of years, that Grace Cannon, big kind of player. And June Dixon's putting up all conference, potentially player of the year kind of numbers so far early on. And has answered a lot of the prayers, a lot of the questions for this Bombers team heading into the season. Violation on McNamara will put it in Union's direction.
But all these teams, too, that want to win a Liberty League championship, and we've seen it when the Bombers have been able to do it, and Skidmore last season, every team has a number 1 that is so dominant and has been able to be a leader on the court, but also be that go-to player late in games. And luckily the Bombers did get that through the transfer portal.
Very good point. Able to get it through the transfer portal in a big way with the D1 transfer.
And you can see from her level and, what the difference between D1 and D3, it's that speed and it's the smarts, it's the size, but Junie Dixon, she understands the game so well, and the game slows down for her at this level, and that's what's made her so successful.
5'8" and a pure shooter, especially from the mid-range. And Dan Raymond still calling out plays, still fired up on the Bomber bench. Still with a 33-point lead for the Bombers. Long pass to Middleman. And how about a floater from Dubin off the back iron, then off the front, rolls out. Weinstock down low. Middleman the takeaway. Keeps it in the Bombers' possession. Nada Dubin. Dubin taking her time. Have the ball stripped from her almost. It's Maka who's going to get it off the strip. Ball was on the ground. She takes it up. And Maka now with 8 points on the day. After an 8-point performance against New Paltz last time out.
I wonder on that one if you give Dubin the assist.
I don't know how that goes in the stat book. I don't know if you'd give it to Dubin since it was off the Union hand, but almost you could say it was a Union assist there. That's McNamara getting her first points of the day off the bench. Now 11 different Bombers scoring at least 1 point. And now Ithaca, all they are going to do is wind out the clock. And they can move to 8-3 on the season with 4 straight wins, including 2 of their last 3 in conference play. And 70-43, another big win for the Bombers, 27 points. And Ithaca is going to be back in action tomorrow against William Smith. A big win against Union. We saw the players off the bench, 11 different scoring for Ithaca. 4 different players with double-digit points, highlighted by Cameron Coffey with 12. But we talk about it throughout the course of the game. It's those underclassmen that come to play off the bench, and they did. They brought that fire today.
Yeah, and, what the Bombers did, too, and it's what they've shown all season, they've out-rebounded teams, and they've beaten teams in that turnover department. That's what's helped this team so well. Grab the rebound, move around in transition, but I mentioned today, too, the pacing of their play. We saw it at times being fast and being able to move at will, but the Bombers, when they've had to set up their offense, that movement, we've seen those kick-out threes to Payne late in the game, early on in the game when the starters are in, Coffey and Polche, and then you let Junie Dixon work around a screen. That starting lineup is, right now, the best in the Liberty League, and that one loss to Vassar, we saw Vassar play better basketball from a standpoint. They made less turnovers than the Bombers, but when you get Yorio down low, Dixon and Polche control the offense, and how Polche and Coffey can shoot the basketball, a lot of danger all around the court for Ithaca.
Lot of danger. That was the story today. 70-43, your final from Ben Light Gymnasium. Keep it right here on Bomber Sports, though, because we've got the men's game against the Garnet Chargers coming right up. That is set to start at 7:30 p.m. in approximately 25 minutes. Big win for the Bombers. Again, we're going to be back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. against William Smith as conference play rolls on. Signing off for Cam Anna, I'm Eli Fishman.